Good evening. Good evening. All right, all right. I just want to wish, to extend this warm welcome to you, everyone that's present tonight. We've had a full day, so we're enjoying the energy we can feel in the room this evening. So the board, the superintendent, and I were pleased that you have joined us as we celebrate student achievement. We definitely have some great special recognitions for you tonight, and we have a great guest with us as well, so we're going to celebrate the great things that she's been doing. We're going to review some information tonight. We're going to make policy decisions. We do have a public hearing as well to evaluate some of our policies related to the effective operation of the Polk County School Board. So I'd like to call the April 22nd, 2025 regular school board meeting to order. So if we can all stand, I would like to invite Reverend Harris, if you can come forward and lead us in our invocation, and if we could all please just continue standing and remain standing for the pledge.
The 863, Lord, thank you for the privilege of being able to live and represent this wonderful county and be a part of this wonderful system. I'm a Kathleen grad. I'm not ashamed of it either. 94. I'm so grateful as I look back at my academic and athletic life. I had Dr. Wright, I had Mr. Poole, I had Coach Joe. I had people who loved me and cared about me. And most of all, I had my mama. And I'm so grateful tonight. And I want to thank you for the mothers, the fathers, the grandparents, the aunties, the uncles, the godparents. They help our students to achieve, for the privilege of being partners. So we thank you for our administrators. We thank you for our school board members. We thank you for every coach. Thank you for every mentor. We thank you for every school, every city. I'm a pastor in Lake Alfred. I thank you for the schools that are there too. Now have your way tonight. Thank you for this time of year where resurrections are possible, where reconciliation, redemption, all those things can happen because of what we celebrated this weekend. So once again, Lord, help us to create, communicate, collaborate, think together tonight, all for your glory, all for your purposes. Thank you for the students. I teach 8th grade. I thank God that I see them every day. I thank you for their energy, their love, their passion. Thank you for the privilege of being able to teach them, to protect them, keep them safe and give them hope and dreams and futures. Thank you for the privilege of serving you as an educator, myself, and for all the other teachers in the room today. Once again, Lord, have your way. Bless those who are coming. Bless those who are watching. Bless our conversations tonight. Yeah, there are some decisions that need to be made tonight, but I pray you will guide those who will be making them. And then when we leave this room, we will leave with a sense of oneness, community, family, realizing this really faith, family, and friends. And as I close this prayer, Lord, I thank you once again for my mama, Kay Fields. Thank you for all of the wonderful years you allow her to serve on this board. As her son, I'm proud tonight that I get a chance to do life with her. And I'm sure other young people feel the same way about their parents as well. Once again, thank you for family, Lord. Thank you for Polk County. Thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Reverend Harris, thank you for being with us tonight. All right, and if we can have our guest, Miss Plavetsky, if you can come forward and lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you all may be seated, except our guest this evening. Wow. I mean, just already we can see the accolades that's all over your uniform, so we appreciate your service.
Thank you so much.
So if you could just introduce yourself and introduce your guests. You have a full row of guests there with you as well.
Okay, so hello everybody, I'm Catherine Plavetsky. I am a JRTC student at Winter Haven High School. With me are my parents and a few of the administration as well as my JRTC instructor. And this is my second year in the JRTC program. All of this is all from everything that I've done. Yeah, that's about it.
So hobbies, I mean, that's
Okay,
it.
okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I'm a part of my Raider team as well at our within our JRTC program. This year, actually, we were the first female team to become district champions as well as second in the state. I love to run. I love to work out. I also am expecting to take a prep year at Georgia Military College and then attend the United States Naval Academy and graduate as the class of 2030. So all of that's very awesome to me.
Wow, wow, huge. And I think I read in your bio that you lead how many other individuals?
So I am a class leader within my within the program as well. So I lead my specifically, yeah, my class and part of the company. I am also the S5 in our program, so I publicize our JRTC like within our Trident, our school newspaper, on anything you see on BDTV. I make sure that's all on there. Yeah, and I also was the captain of my cross country team, my soccer team as well. So I did that before I joined JRTC, and then my life kind of shifted more towards focusing on those sports. But
Amazing, amazing. And I mean, I read that you're leading like 40 other cadets.
yeah, we have about 40 in our company.
Incredible. Thank you for your leadership. That's awesome. So, I mean, there's so many other questions we can ask. I think typically the next question, like your favorite subject, and I read something in your bio about that.
Yes, my favorite subject currently is computer science, and that would be my major at the Naval Academy. I've taken computer science for 4 years now, 3 years within the Cambridge program, and then one now AP. So I know Python, which is a comp sci language, as well as VB, and I look forward to learning a bunch more in the future. But it's truly incredible to me to be able to work with like my teachers and all of that. The Cambridge program is amazing at my school, and I believe they have taught me a ton, whether it just be studying habits or just a love for computer science and the problem solving that comes along with it.
Wow, incredible. Okay, so 4 years of that. And you mentioned AP. What's the language base in that first iteration of the AP?
AP, I'm in AP Computer Science Principles, so that one is Python. We also have, our school has the next step of that, which is Java, but I wasn't able to take that because it's fifth period, and that's my JRTC class, so
Yeah.
got to take that. But
Awesome, very good. You told us a little bit about the Cambridge program. We're really proud of the work that's happening within that program, specifically across the district. So, and you're representative of that in a big way. So, thank you, thank you. So, maybe introduce your principal that you have with us as well.
So our principal is here with us, Miss Gina Williams. She is amazing. We see her a lot around school. Like, I swear you're everywhere I look. A lot of our administrators are, like Miss Bachman as well, who is with us today. But yeah, the administrators at Winter Haven, I believe, are really, really amazing and are a really good representation of what they're able to do for the kids and help us to make sure we succeed.
Oh, amazing. So you're so articulate. I didn't get a chance to ask the questions because you just rattled off everything that we had. So really appreciate that. I mean, the biggest dreams, I mean, that's typically the last question. I mean, obviously you're seeing post-secondary and you're seeing some of those leaps, but like way down in the future.
Once I am at the Naval Academy, I hope to obviously graduate from there and with a computer science degree, maybe go into naval aviation. The Blue Angels are incredibly inspiring to me. They are so cool. Recently they were at Sun and Fun. That was really cool. And then past military service. If I don't do aviation, doing something in cybersecurity and intelligence is definitely a goal of mine. And then after the military, doing like CIA or FBI intelligence work. Maybe minoring in like psychology if I can. Wow. So all of that is hopefully the path I end up taking.
Yeah. Very impressive. We are so happy that you're here. We appreciate all the student achievement that you've accomplished, and it's amazing. So,
thank you so much.
And thank you to your guest for being with us as well. If you can, maybe you and your guest come to the middle there. We'd love to get a picture with you. And as she's moving her way towards the center, can we give her a round of applause? Well done. Well done. Impressive.
Thank you so much for having me.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. All right, that sets the stage for us tonight. That's the good work that we take part in, and pretty humbling. So thank you, thank you. Board members, the first item on our agenda tonight is to accept our agenda. Superintendent Hyde, are there any revisions to the agenda as printed?
Mr. Chair, members of the board, yes, there are. There are several amendments Item E, number 2, approval of the minutes for March 25, 2025 school board meeting. Minutes were attached and updated. Item E, number 5, approval of minutes from April 15, 2025 special board meeting. General counsel interviews. Item was added. Item E, number 6, approve the minutes of April 16, 2025 special board meeting regarding general counsel interviews. An item was added. Item H, number 2, recommendation of bid award for the April 22nd, 2025 board meeting. One item was removed and an attachment was updated. Item K, number 11, Winter Haven High School Building 21 Ag Building renovation. Attachments were updated. Item L, number 1, non-instructional personnel actions. Attachment was added. Item L, number 2, administrative and instructional personnel actions. Attachment was added. Item S, number 1, interim agreement with Fortress Secured LLC. Attachment was updated. Item S, number 2, charter review team nominee, Angelic Sims. Item was moved to the May meeting. Item S, number 3, charter review team nominee, Shambria Campbell. Item was also moved to the May meeting. And lastly, item S, number 4, selection of general counsel candidate. Item was added. That concludes amendments for this evening, sir.
All right, thank you, Superintendent. So at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to accept the agenda for April 22nd, 2025 with the noted revisions. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved. Second.
All right, Mr. Keys made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. So the motion on the floor is to accept the April 22nd, 2025 school board agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, I'll give you guys a moment to cast your vote there. Aye. And any opposed to that? All right, very good. And that motion carries. The next item up is our special recognitions. Superintendent, would you please lead us through our special recognitions?
Mr. Chair, we do have 2 new administrators for this evening. If I may, Ms. Alex Wise, principal at Elbert Elementary Schools, being promoted to acting senior director for school improvement, and Ms. Julie Thomas, assistant principal at Elbert Elementary, is being promoted to acting principal at Elbert Elementary.
All right.
And then for special recognitions, at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Justin Sharpless to step down to assist with this evening's recognitions. And if you would join me in welcoming Stacy Davis, Director of Library Media Services, for the School Library Month recognition.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Hyde. It's very fitting that we're here tonight honoring 2 media specialists, as April is School Library Month. And that's the month where we get to recognize all of our library staff for the work they do to promote a love of literacy, foster inquiry, and create warm, welcoming spaces for our students, teachers, and our school families. The Florida Power Library Schools Award is a state award sponsored by the Florida Department of Education Library Media Services and the Florida Association of Supervisors in Media. To qualify, an applicant must be a certified library media specialist with at least 3 years in the Library Media Center. The 2 media specialists being recognized tonight have been through a rigorous, almost 2-year process that starts with a survey of parents, students, families, community members. And then once they receive acceptable survey scores, then they move on to a digital portfolio. And after that, they go through an interview process with state supervisors and district library media. When they submit their portfolio, it goes well beyond just the beautiful library displays that you see when you visit our libraries, hopefully, when you visit them. So it goes into what it takes for collaborative instruction, what that looks like to enhance student achievement. Creating a culture of reading, resource management, providing library access through regular classes and open checkout, we call that flexible scheduling, providing an inviting environment for all students, and advocacy both within the school and throughout the community. And then after they submit their portfolio and they have their interview, then they wait for a few months and they see if they get the exciting phone call that they got the award. So I have 2 of our media specialists that have this recognition. We have 2 more elementary media specialists that have applied, so I hope to be standing here next year and sharing that news with you as well. So the first one I would like to recognize is Connie Hoffman from Davenport High School. Yep, go ahead and open up. Yep, so Connie gets her Florida Power Library School designation from 2024 through 2029, so it is a 5-year award. At that time, she'll get the opportunity to renew that.
And if she has friends or family, please come down and join them for the photo. Congratulations.
And our second recipient is Nikki Slinkard from Mulberry High School. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to welcome Carolyn Giroux, Director of Recruitment and Teacher Engagement, for the recognition of our graduates from Leading from the Classroom.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Caroline Giroux, and I'm so excited to introduce and celebrate some of our amazing teacher leaders. So Leading from the Classroom is a transformative program initiative that empowers teacher leaders to address campus challenges using the 6 Sigma problem-solving protocols. Participants identify and analyze issues, develop action plans, and share their solutions with principals and direct leaders to promote best practices across schools. This program fosters a collaborative environment where educators can drive meaningful change and enhance student outcomes through strategic leadership and innovation. We are so excited to see these teacher leaders make an impact beyond the walls of their classroom. So we're going to go ahead and kind of go through names. We've got some awards for them, and just want to celebrate all the work they've done this year. And we're excited to see the different action plans that you guys are going to initiate in your schools. Right? Our first one is Susan Banner. Meredith Brown. Narissa Diaz. Jody Ann Dice. Anissa Fullwood. Catherine Horbett. Tiffany Jackson. Brittany Keller. Kimberly McBride. Laura Northrup. Amanda Pope. Onaiki Salako. And last but not least, Kristen Tucker. Yay. I think if we could get just one round of applause, we really need to celebrate our teachers.
Can we get everybody down for a group
Yeah,
photo, please?
let's do a group picture. You want to come down? And Summer, come on down too.
And Mr. Rowe, was anybody not able to be here?
Yeah, we do have a list of those who are not able to attend. So we have about 30 total. 30 total. So it's just,
Do you happen to have those names tonight that you could read aloud? Or
we can grab, I don't know if we have the list of those who could not attend. We can pull it up real quick.
you know what? If not, we'll invite them to May 6th.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's do that.
Sounds good.
Thank you, ladies. And next, I'd like to invite Ms. Jeanette Crowley, Director of Strategic Planning and Partnerships, for this year's Volunteer Appreciation Week recognition.
All right, good evening, School Board Chair, School Board members, and Superintendent Hyde. Polk County Public Schools has over 20,000 approved volunteers serving nearly 130 school sites. These individuals give their time and talents to enrich the educational environment for our students by helping in media centers, front offices, and classrooms. They mentor and tutor students, or they work on beautification projects for the campus, and that's only a fraction of what these volunteers contribute to our schools. So it's my pleasure that April is National Volunteer Appreciation Month, and this week specifically is National Volunteer Appreciation Week. And we look forward to honoring our school volunteer honorees on Friday at our Volunteer of the Year awards ceremony. But tonight, we want to recognize those behind the scenes at the school sites who make things happen for our volunteers, our rockstar volunteer coordinators and administrators. So, I have 3 schools with us who are model volunteer programs within our district. As I call them to join me, I will share some highlights about their specific school volunteer program. First, we have Bartow Elementary Academy. Bartow, please come up. With Principal Sarah Van Hook and Volunteer Coordinator Patty Casolis. This school year, Bartow Elementary Academy has over 300 volunteers providing over 3,500 service hours. BEA has one of the largest numbers of volunteers at one school site. One key to BEA's success is having a high volume of parent involvement through their PTA, or Parent-Teacher Association. Their PTA actively recruits parents to not only serve in PTA events, but to also take time to serve in classrooms and around the school. Volunteers at BEA also help in putting on the Fall Festival, which has raised as much as $10,000 for the school. In addition, They have been involved in school-wide campaigns or positive behavior interventions and supports, as well as attendance initiatives during FTE week. Due to the outstanding service of these volunteers, school culture has been positively impacted at BEA. We are so proud of Mrs. Van Hook and Mrs. Katsoulis for their hard work and dedication by serving as an example of a great school volunteer program. Congratulations. Next, I'd like to invite Davenport School of the Arts with Principal Cindy Brayton and Volunteer Coordinator Carmen Morrow. Davenport School of the Arts has over 100 volunteers serving an astounding 4,100 hours this school year, and this is so far. The school prides itself on creating a relevant, resourceful, and welcoming community of volunteers with annual trainings, frequent communication over emails, social media, and physical flyers, and having more experienced volunteers guide the incoming volunteers. When asked about a success story, their 20th annual Space Night was first on their minds, with volunteers involved in concessions, t-shirt sales, games, and workshops. But that's only one of many events that the school holds with volunteer support. Volunteers at DSA contribute to a sense of community and engagement where the culture is positive, the students are supported, and the parents are more invested in their child's education. Thank you so much to Mrs. Brayton and Mrs. Morrow and the team for their excellent work that you do each and every day. Last but not least, we have Dundee Elementary Academy with Principal Dr. Lana Headley and Volunteer Coordinator Philip Daniels. Dundee Elementary Academy has over 130 volunteers this school year, putting in over 4,200 hours. One of the strategies that DEA uses for recruiting volunteers is training their staff members on the volunteer approval process to communicate with parents more effectively. The group of volunteers with the largest impact to the school is the PTA. They plan and coordinate fundraising events at the school in order to provide various items to enhance the learning environment. Volunteers also give teachers their full planning time by taking care of copies and laminations. They even financed a lesson planning program available to international baccalaureate schools, which led to learning gains and Dundee Elementary Academy earning an A grade for the first time last school year. Congratulations, Dr. Headley, Mr. Daniels, and the rest of your team for the amazing work at Dundee Elementary Academy. That concludes my presentation.
Board members, at this time, we have another special recognition. It's actually not on the agenda, and that was done intentionally. So I'm going to ask Ms. Kay Fields to please step down.
She gave you the look, Superintendent.
That's okay. I should have waited till after she voted on my contract. But with all due respect, she deserves this recognition. I am absolutely thrilled to recognize Ms. Kay Fields on her most recent accomplishment. It's an accomplishment on a long list of previous achievements, and I honored her at another meeting and wanted to do it here publicly amongst your peers. It's important that we do that. For those that don't know, Board Member Kay Fields was recently recognized by the NAACP as being a legendary individual in our community. And we're thrilled to recognize you for that accomplishment, well-deserved, and we're also very excited that your whole family is here this evening. Ms. Fields, the microphone is yours. And we'd love to get some photos of you and your family.
Thank you. Superintendent Howard, you got this one. Totally surprised.
Good.
And what I would say is that God gets the glory. Nothing that I've been able to accomplish without him. And without my family. And without you all, your support, and the community support. And I'm just very appreciative. And that's the end of the story. I am very proud of my two granddaughters. Come. I say we should have had grandbabies first. This is Avery. Avery, tell them what grade you're in.
I'm in 4th grade.
And where do you attend school?
Wyndham Lakes Elementary School.
Okay, and this is Ari. Come over. Oh, sorry.
Okay, I am in 4th grade and I go to Lakeland Christian School.
And we're very proud of them. They're both A students and with great behavior. I think that's just as important as great academics. And I would like to thank the NAACP, the Lakeland branch, for acknowledging my work and what God has been able to allow me to do. And I know that Mr. Coney is in the audience, and I don't know if anybody else might be in, but I want to thank them for the opportunity and thank God for the opportunity to serve.
Well, and for your family, I don't think it comes as any surprise, but when Mrs. Fields and I have a conversation on the phone, it always starts with a conversation about family. It always ends with a conversation about family. And she brags on every single one of you. I only hope my son turns out as good. So congratulations.
You will.
Let's please take some photos. Come on down, sir. Am I coming back? No, you can. Mr. Sharpless, we'll take one with Mr. Sharpless in and one with you stepping out. How about that? But they were here, and they didn't come forward. Alex is here. Okay. All right. So I don't need to call him again. No. Thank you. Thank you all for helping us with the surprise.
All right, see y'all later.
If we didn't have work to do, I'd tell Ms. Fields to go home. Yes, ma'am. Well deserved. Mr. Chair, that concludes special recognitions for this evening.
Thank you, Superintendent. Just a quick thank you to all those that joined us tonight. Next is our public comment for items on the agenda to be voted upon as adopted at the start of this meeting. But before we begin, I'll just sort of welcome the public and then go over our public comment process and the opportunities for the evening. We'll have those 3 opportunities for public comment. The first one would be for items on the agenda. Secondly,
Chair, I am so sorry.
did we miss one?
Well, apparently it got bypassed, and when I read their names, they were not in the room. They're now with us now, those administrators, so I'd like to have the opportunity,
Absolutely.
if I may, to go ahead and recognize them. We have with us this evening Miss Alex Wise, principal at Elbert Elementary School, who's being promoted to acting senior director of school improvement. No, you don't get to nod. You got to come down here and be recognized and say a few words, please.
Thank you to the board for allowing me this opportunity to continue to grow and learn as a teacher, as an administrator, and now as senior director under the direction of Ms. Kendrick and Ms. Nave. Ms. Nave, who believed in me when I was just a principal at a small town and said, come to Elbert, help us turn it around, you can do it. To Mr. Roberts, who then continued to lead me, and now here I am. Probably the most important thing is that when Ms. Fields was up here and she was speaking with her family and she talked about serving, and that is, I share the same passion. I love serving the community. It's not always easy, but it's where my heart is, and I hope that I can continue to do that as senior director. Thank you.
Congratulations. We need to take a photo. Julie here. I thought she was. She was earlier. She was sitting here. She did leave? Okay, we'll bring her back. Mr. Chair, we recognize the other, but we'll invite them back to be recognized publicly. Thank you, sir.
Very good, thank you, Superintendent. All right, so we were in the middle of public comment and setting up that context. I'm actually going to slide down our agenda. We'll come back to public comment because we do have a total of 3 opportunities. There were only cards signed up for non-agenda items. So I'll speak to that once we get to that part in the agenda. So I'm going to slide down to E, which is the approval of minutes. Board members, we have been busy. We need to approve 6 sets of minutes, and the first set of minutes is for the March 11th, 2025 special work session board retreat meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the March 11th meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right. I heard Ms. Fields make the motion and Mr. Keys second it. Any discussion? I don't see any discussion, so I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. I'll give you a moment to vote on your board docs. We'll keep that moving. Still waiting on 3 votes. We're good? All right, very good. The second set of minutes is for the March 25th, 2025 school board meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Wyatt made the motion and Mr. Keys seconded it. Any discussion? Seeing none, I would like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Good. The third set of minutes is for the March 25th, 2025 work session meeting. The chair will entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Keys made the motion and Ms. Wyatt seconded it. Any discussion, board members? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. The fourth set of minutes is for the April 8th, 2025 work session meeting. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
All right, I heard Mr. Sharpless made the motion and Ms. Fields seconded it. Any discussion on those meeting minutes? All right, I'd like to call for a vote now. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And the fifth set of minutes is for the April 15th, 2025 special board meeting general counsel interviews. The chair will now entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Ms. Fields made the motion and Mr. Sharpless seconded it. Any discussion on those general counsel interviews, those meeting minutes? All right, I don't see any other comments there. I will now call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. We're now down to our last set of minutes, and that's for the April 16th, 2025 Special Board Meeting General Counsel interviews. The chair will entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes as written. Do I have a motion? All right, I've got a motion by Mr. Keys. Looking for a second. Okay, Mr. Sharpless seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. All right. The next item is approval of today's consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to accept the April 22nd, 2025 consent agenda as printed. Do I have a motion and a second?
Second.
Ms. Fields made the motion and Mr. Keys seconded. Any discussion on our consent agenda item? Pretty thorough, extensive consent. All right, seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. So next we come to our action agenda for tonight. And S1 is entitled The Interim Agreement with Fortress Secured, LLC. This came before us earlier today. The suggested action is to approve the interim agreement with Fortress Secured, LLC. So the chair will accept the motion and a second. Ms. Fields made the motion. And Ms. Miller seconded. Any discussion, board members, beyond what we discussed earlier today? All right, seeing none, I'd like to call for a vote. Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. We are now down to S4, and that one is entitled Selection of General Counsel Candidate. I will accept the motion here in a moment, but before we do that, I just want to try to give context. I know I've put this on record a couple times, but just to unravel where we were and where we've gotten to today. So before we take action, I just want to say thank you and congrats to our candidates. This has been an extremely thorough and rigorous process. I mean, it's amazing the amount of data that we've had to sift through within the last few weeks. I would just say thanks to SGR and Doug Thomas for the great work you've done. This important process that we're about to vote on right now was set in motion by an email that we received from Mr. Wes Bridges, who sat on the end of the table over there, and he sent that to us on June 10th. And the title of that email was To Sail into the Sunset. Was the title of that email. And it was after 26 years of dedicated service as our general counsel, Mr. Bridges announced his intention to retire. And that marked really the beginning of a thoughtful and thorough search to find his successor. SGR met with the board on January 14th to establish the timeline and the position profile. And it was by January 17th that the expectations of this critical role was posted for the second time. The application window closed in mid-February, and then on February 25th, we as a board met to select our semifinalist. On March 25th, the board reconvened to determine our finalist, and then final briefing materials were shared with board members on April 11th. And then on April 15th, as the meetings reflect, the meeting minutes that we just voted on earlier, reflect that we convened as a board and met individually with each candidate. And then the preceding day on April 16th, we reconvened and went through an expansive list of interview questions with each candidate. A great opportunity to engage with these amazing candidates. The final set of documents was handed to each board member, which included an extensive reference check. And I want to say congrats to our finalists. Your qualifications and your willingness to serve our community are sincerely appreciated. So at this time, the Chair will entertain a motion if anybody would like to make a motion. And Ms. Wyatt, you are up first on the speaker list if you want to make a motion.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to recommend Mr. Green as our next as our next school board attorney and, sorry, Fred, and to have Dr. Allen and Mr. Murphy enter those negotiations with him to bring back a recommendation for contract.
Can you also include Mr. Thomas?
And Mr. Thomas can participate in those conversations as well.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Wyatt. We have a motion on the floor,
Second.
and Mr. Sharpless has seconded that. Any discussion, fellow board members, beyond the hours of discussion we've had thus far to get to this point? Ms. Fields, you are recognized.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. We had a lot of discussion about this today and last week, and I will I will repeat what I said earlier today, that my concern is that Mr. Green does not reside in Polk County, and he would not be moving to Polk County until his son graduates from high school, which would be a year from now. However, interesting that my son prayed today, and in his prayer, he said that he would want us to be unified and united. And from all indications during the work session today, it is obvious that the majority of you, if not the rest of you, are in support of Mr. Green. And because of that, I would hate for him to come thinking that he has one board member that might not want to work with him. So he's not my first choice. I'll make that known. But I am willing to work with him and do whatever we need to do for the good of the school district and for our students and our families and our employees.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fields. Any other comments, board members? Now's your opportunity. All right, seeing none, I would like to call for a vote at this time. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you to all candidates that participated with us. It was intense and a great opportunity to engage with some very high caliber candidates, for sure. And I see our staff, Carolyn, nodding back there. So thank you for your time and your celebratory wave, indeed. All right, we are now moving down to our public hearing. Again, there's 3 opportunities to speak, one on agenda items, secondly on our public hearing items, and then thirdly our non-agenda items. We do not have any public cards for the public hearing that we are about to enter into. So now I'd like to call this public hearing to order. And we are at T1, and it's basically for policy updates. This round of policies, board members came before you during our February 25th, 2025 meeting and our March 25th, 2025 rule development meeting. So we're not taking any action on this item tonight. However, this is your opportunity to bring forth any amendments or changes to the following policies that are in front of you. And I will list those policies. We have policy 9271, students receiving scholarships, policy 7540.08, artificial intelligence, policy 5505, academic honesty. So those are the 3 policies that are before you on our last step in this policy development process. The next time you see it, it will come before you as an action item. So any discussion or amendments at this time? All right, I see no further comments or discussion on that. At this time, we will now close this public hearing. And the next item up on our agenda is the superintendent's report. Superintendent Hyde, do you have a report for us tonight?
I do, Mr. Chair. The next work session and board meeting will be held on May 6, 2025. The work session will begin at 12:30 p.m. at the board meeting, and the board meeting will begin at 5 p.m. The meeting will be held at the district office located at 1915 South Floral Avenue in Bartow. I'll just simply, I'll leave a few items on the table because I know board members will want to speak to those, and I hate that I sometimes will steal your thunder. But there's a lot of great things happening in Polk County. We are in countdown mode. We are just shy of about 30 days till graduations. So that's an exciting time. As you know, it's a very busy week for all of us, but it's a great opportunity. Last year, we got to shake over 7,400 hands of our graduates. This year, we hope to see that number continue to increase. And as you all know, it's a fabulous event, and I get to participate not only as a superintendent, but as a dad this year. So we're excited as a family. So thank you for the opportunity, and thanks for all that Polk County Public Schools has done for our child. I'll leave it at that, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you, Superintendent. Moving down, we have an opportunity for an attorney's report, but I don't think we have anything. We'll save it for next time unless you have some words for us tonight.
Just, I wanted to reiterate how grateful and honored I have as the opportunity to help serve in the role of interim general counsel for the school board. It certainly is a privilege, and it's something I do very much appreciate, and look forward to continued assistance as needed.
Indeed.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. All right, and then moving down, next up is the auditor's report. We do not have an auditor's report tonight, but since our last meeting, you've received the annual purchasing card inventory, Ridge Community High School payroll audit, and then the Crystal Lake Elementary final payroll audit report as well. So if you have any concerns, please connect with Ms. Matthews or the superintendent on those audit reports. Now we come to the part of our evening where you get a chance to reflect on some things you've been involved in around the community. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with the highest number going down tonight, and that would be Ms. Miller. You are recognized.
Thank you. I just want to say that I enjoy so much being in the community. One of my favorite events, I'm glad the superintendent didn't talk about, was the 96th annual Polk City Cake Festival, or cake auction. That's where the city comes together and really raises money for kids. I'm not sure what their total was this year. It was more than we were bidding the years before, so I think they were very successful. I think the superintendent got a cappuccino cake that was very tasty, and my husband outbid everybody for carrot cake as usual. It's a great fundraiser for that school. It really brings the community together, and I want to thank Mr. Bronson, who has been a longstanding supporter of Polk City and that entire community, because he really shows up for kids that evening. Also, Auburndale had the junior ROTC cadet Riley Tapawan. She earned a $150,000 Army scholarship for the Florida Southern School of Nursing, so we're very proud of her and all of the Auburndale ROTC. Silver Garland was just last week, and that's one of my favorites as well. You know, Silver Garland isn't just students who do well academically. It's students who give back their time and are servant leaders, and I think we need more of that, and our youth, they're showing up. And to hear about what the kids were doing, one young man already had a book published. It was great to see those students that evening. Sun and Fun was there. I think we might have mentioned that already. You had students from Winter Haven Aerospace Academy and our Lakeland campus on the ground helping all the tourists that visited and all of the people that flew their planes in. And I know they showed me around and helped me understand all things about airplanes. And so I'm not a big airplane fan, but I was that day, and I learned a lot. Harrison celebrated 35 years at the Ritz Theater. I did not bring it this evening. I was going to bring, if you ever need to raise money, I have a problem at auctions. And so that evening, I bid on a one-of-a-kind Grady Judd painting. So when I texted him and told him I won the painting, he said, "I'm not an artist." The painting is 15 years old. It was guns filled with paint, like water guns, and he created a crime scene that he signed. But it is a one-of-a-kind, and we were excited to get it that evening. It was a fun way to celebrate raising money for Harrison. They also auctioned off a Steinway piano. It was a great evening to raise money for their scholarships, sending kids all over the country for summer camps to practice their art. And the last thing that I have listed is to recognize Lake Gibson's wrestling team. If you don't already know, they are consistently winning, and I think this year they weren't expected to win as many as they did, but they took several students who won district. They had state qualifiers. It was a great time to celebrate Lake Gibson wrestling, and I will leave the Winter Haven state champs to Sarah Beth, even though that parade was fun. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. And moving to District 6, Mr. Sharpless, you are recognized.
Thank you, Board Chair. I want to start off by congratulating Board Member Fields tonight. Recognition well deserved. Thank you for your leadership, and I think it was exemplified tonight by your decision to vote unanimously. I think that shows your character, and I just appreciate being on the board with you. One event that I was able to participate in with many of my fellow colleagues here was Polk Vision's Breakfast with the School Board. Truly enjoyed that. Being a member of Leadership Polk Class 18, the best class ever. It was great to see to be there with my classmates as well as a school board member. They asked some good questions of us. We have some great leaders in the alumni as well as the current class that were there. I would like to agree with Board Member Miller. Silver Garlands, an amazing event. And I really like the new location of it there in the Ritz Theater. It was so neat this year that the students, the finalists, were in the tables below there, right there by the stage. I thought that was a neat addition this year. I always come away from that hopeful about the future of our country, because they've got students that just give of themselves and just try to make a better world, and it's truly inspiring. Last thing I want to say, today is National School Bus Driver Appreciation Day, and I want to say, school bus drivers, you're seen, you're valued. We appreciate what you do for our students. You're the first smiling face many of our students see, and the last one they see for the day. And the fact that you bring our students to our school sites in a safe manner is greatly appreciated. We can't really thank you enough for all you do on the front lines, just impacting our students. And sometimes that smile they get at the beginning of the day sets them on a trajectory to make them successful. And so this school board member appreciates you and wants to celebrate you on National School Bus Driver Appreciation Day. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpless. And we are now moving to District 5. That would be Ms. Fields.
Thank you. I want to thank Superintendent Hyde for the surprise. Wasn't anything that I expected, but I am very appreciative. I do have a question. Who was the cute little girl who gave me the gift? Do you know?
Olivia, that's Christina Kaiser-Jackson with United Way.
Okay, she's grown up.
Yeah.
Yep. Olivia, yep, she has grown up. Beautiful. I appreciate that. Mr. Keys and I both attended the About Face Awards breakfast the latter part of March, and that's probably my favorite event to attend, where kids have turned themselves around and they're making some good progress, and we always want to hear that. So I want to commend Jeanette Crowley and her staff, her team, for making sure that it's always a great event, and the speaker was amazing. He was an alumni of our school district. He's now a police officer, and he did a great job talking to the kids and being able to relate to them. So I would say hats off to everyone that was involved in that event. And then I was able to stop by Kathleen High School for the Family Engagement Conference that they had in March, and it was well attended. They had a lot of nice gifts that they were giving away to the students and the parents, and it was very well organized, and it was a great opportunity for our families. So hats off to the staff who spearheaded that. And then I have a health strategy meeting next week. So once we have the meeting, I'll make sure that I come back and give you all a report on what we cover. And I want to thank John Murphy for stepping up and always being so knowledgeable and always being willing to advise us even when we don't want to be advised. So we just want to thank him. And you're not going anywhere. So we're just publicly thanking you, but you're not leaving, okay? But we appreciate you. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Ms. Wyatt, you're recognized.
Thank you. It's that exciting time of year when all of our reports get a little bit longer. So since our last board meeting, I had the opportunity to attend the JA Discovery Center presentation at Tenor Rock High School. We had lots of great community members there, many of which have already signed up to be sponsors of different storefronts. So it was exciting to see not only all of the excitement, but we also had Congressman Franklin's office there as they're working on a federal appropriation for support of that project. Polk Vision Breakfast that I know several of my colleagues have talked about. I was most excited and most proud that my biggest takeaway from the day was that we listen when Superintendent Hyde talks, and he was really proud of us, and that just made me feel proud. We apparently are able to regurgitate the things he tells us well. But it was they had great questions, very, very in-depth questions, and it's always nice to have. I love that they include him up there with us so that we can pass the mic if anything gets too controversial. Harrison 35-year anniversary. I will tell you to my colleagues, you do not ever want to be sitting between Lisa Miller and an auction because it is a scary place to be. I'm really glad she won because sharing a table with her, I was a little concerned as to what was going to happen had she not gotten Grady's painting, but it is beautiful. City of Winter Haven, I want to give a huge thank you to the City of Winter Haven. Ms. Miller mentioned the parade that we were able to partake in honoring the state championships for Winter Haven. I do think it was partially a ploy to make sure that Superintendent Hyde did not go to the district tennis match that was happening because when he goes, things just don't always go in our favor. But it is a Herculean task to shut down a road during rush hour for a parade, to have your staff there after hours to facilitate, to move stages, and they do it regularly for our students without even batting an eye. So I want to give them huge kudos for always doing what's best for kids and not thinking about, it would be a lot easier to say no most days because they really do set the standard when it comes to great community partners. Silver Garland, there was a student there that has developed a bionic finger for their friend that played an instrument and couldn't do so. All the things that they're creating are impressive and really does give you hope for the future. Also want to remind everyone that State of the County is this Thursday. I believe Mr. Sharpless is presenting with Superintendent Hyde. So if you want to get a full view of what's going on in Polk County Public Schools and the county at large, that will be at the Polk State Public Safety Building from 10:30 to 12:30. And then last but not least, I want to recognize a student from Lake Region High School. They announced this morning that Cadet Letitia Rodriguez has been awarded the Gates Scholarship. She will receive funding for the full cost of attendance to Duke University. Her scholarships earn now total over $1 million. So again, that's Cadet Letitia Rodriguez. And the Gates Scholarship is a really big deal. So we want to make sure that we recognize and celebrate her as well as all of our students that are receiving scholarships this year. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Wyatt. And Mr. Keys, you are recognized.
Oh my gosh. Well, I echo what Mrs. Wyatt says. It seems like when we get to this time of the year that let's get long and I appreciate everyone and us going around the county and running to each other and seeing the commitment that this board has to being there and being present is remarkable. So I won't repeat some of those. We talked about the About Face Awards, the Leadership Breakfast, being at the City of Winter Haven for the proclamation, the girls basketball team, all wonderful things. And I got to do a couple other unique things that I was really happy to attend. One of those was Summerlin Academy Sophomore Dining Out. The superintendent was there. What an amazing event to be able to see those students and the things that they learn as far as etiquette. I will tell you what my wife was with me, and one of her comments was like, it was so refreshing to have a conversation at a table because the phones are not there. Those devices are not in. They're not allowed. And so we're going around the table having meaningful conversations, and I think that was one of the things that stood out the most is that we can still do that in this digital age. Another one of those things was I got to attend was the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. I get emotional at these things. The amount of talent that is present in this district just never ceases to amaze me, and the commitment these students have to their craft. And this is a very prestigious award, and these students that get these top awards, they go on to be recognized in New York City, and there's going to be a big event, at the culmination of that at Carnegie Hall, from what I understand, the winners from the national event. So what an honor to be a part of that, and even as much so as and much to my detriment when I go home and tell my wife these things, is that I've become a fan of kind of purchasing artwork, and I was able to secure, I spoke with Mrs. Peary, and one of the pieces of art in the gallery just jumped out at me, and was able to hopefully here at the end of this month acquire a piece of art that a student had produced, and just excited to do so. But my wife is like, where are we going to hang that at? And we'll make a place for it, but I think it's a sense of giving back, and and telling, we're so proud of you, and I encourage you, if you get a chance to go to these awards or that display that's still up at the Polk Museum of Art, now the actually Gibson Barnett Museum, go by and look, and you will not be disappointed. And then I went to Davenport School of the Arts annual dance recital. Again, just the amount of talent we have, the time that these kids pour into their craft is amazing. And then I guess finally I'll ask that you guys keep me in your prayers. I'll be traveling this Friday and Saturday, or Thursday and Friday coming up, to going to Gainesville to the second part of the School Board Finance Forum. Try to learn and bring those things as knowledge that I bring back to here. And I said that was final, but one more thing. So in my district is 19 schools across 17 different sites. What a task to try to complete those. So, and being new to this role, was able to visit the past 2 Mondays, 10 of those sites, and just the excitement that you see from the administrators, the staff, when you come and visit, and they want to tell you all about what's happening at their campuses, and the energy that they pour into that is amazing. Everybody is so individually proud of what they're accomplishing, and to see the commitment that our administrators and our staff and educators have to their individual schools and the cultures they're building is absolutely phenomenal. So that's the end of my report. A lot of stuff, but appreciative to be able to do that.
Indeed. Thank you, board members. Mr. Keys, appreciate that as well. Man, y'all are so active. I thought the Polk Vision was a good standout event as well, and I'm thinking of superintendent's positive comments. He was like a little proud papa over there, and commending you all for the knowledge and experience that you brought to that. So that was a great event. The other one that I was going to highlight was, if you get a chance to take part in the Lunch and Learns, I know Ms. Coyle typically tries to target various industry partners to come in and speak with students. I had an opportunity to reach out to President Martin. He's the new president of Florida Southern, and he sponsored that Lunch and Learn at Lakeland Highlands Middle just recently. And I think we had about 40 students that were present in that space, and they were the pre-video game Academy students. So I had a chance to go over and speak about my discipline that I teach, but I also brought 2 Florida Southern students who graduated in Polk County schools, and had a chance for me just to set up the context, but step aside and let those students share their work and their discipline. And it was really neat to see the students respond to their work and what they've been working on. So pretty inspiring to see our Polk students share their knowledge and pass that down the line. So those sort of wrap up my comments as well. We will now transition to our board, our public comments. And this is our last item on the agenda. So this would be public comments addressing items not on our agenda tonight. So as noted earlier, to register to speak, community members must fill out a speaker card in the lobby prior to the meeting. All speakers will be given 3 minutes. The light will turn yellow when you have 1 minute left, and you'll hear a beep when your time is concluded. Please note that although the board encourages community participation, no immediate action will be taken on items presented during the public comment portion of the meeting. If a follow-up board action is required, then the matter may be placed on the agenda at a subsequent meeting in accordance with the school board policy. I have a list of individuals who have signed up to speak today. Could you please come forward when I call your name? Just state your name and your address for the record, and then you'll have those 3 minutes to speak. First off, we have Victor Chandler, so if you can come forward, please. And then on deck, we would have Stephanie Yoakum. And for the person on deck, there's a red line, so if you can stand at the red line so we can keep things moving this evening.
Victor Chandler, Eagle Lake, Florida. Last time I brought to you a sheet and asked you for some information, just to see whether you would know, and if you could, just leave it at the desk. And I didn't expect to get it because I didn't think you knew it. The first one was the amount of actual spent on teacher salaries, base salaries from 23-24. That gives you how much you actually paid last year. The projected amount spent on teacher salaries, 24-25. That would tell you how much you expect to spend this year. And of course, the increase in costs from that of 23-24 for hiring additional teachers. If you take how much you spent last year, you projected how much you spend this year, that is how much new recurring revenues are necessary. That is actually your real cost. It's called a financial procedure based on cash flows. If you subtract the additional teachers, then you have how much is actually spent on raises. You say, well, what is the difference? What do you do? Well, it comes down to how you use steps. Steps for teachers, you've heard it before, step raise. There's no such thing as a step raise. Steps do not increase the salary schedule. They do not increase your cost. If you want a simple example, if we went back 50 years and said, okay, let's just take and give teachers, every teacher, a step for 50 years. And let's just replace those that retire, okay? Let's do that for 50 years. What would it look like today? Same salary schedule, same number of teachers, and if you had the same distribution, same cost. Step raises do not have cost, okay? Allocating reoccurring revenues for that purpose allows you, because it's not going to get spent on them, allows you to transfer money to other purposes. Now it's when you get into the little legal hassle here. When the state says, okay, this amount has to be spent on teacher salaries, do they mean it's an increase from what it was last year, or do they mean you can use it to cover steps, which are not a cost? And that's what you've done. You got another problem. You use it as in calculating their average raise. Well, if you use it to increase their average raise, a step raise is a raise for an individual, but not for a position. If you use it to calculate the raise for the teachers, and then you increase a position by the same percentage, they gain a financial advantage. Both of those have severe legal implications that you better consider, because I will find out whether you spent the money or not.
Thank you, Ms. Chandler. Mr. Chandler. Ms. Yoakum, you're up. And then on deck, we have Octavio Hernandez.
Stephanie Yoakum, Lakeland. I'm actually speaking as a parent tonight. So most of you know where my son goes. I am the PTO secretary for Carlton Palmer as well, and I'm on their SAC committee. We have come up to an interesting situation, and I talked to Mr. Hyde about it last week, and I've also emailed the Lakeland City Commission, because it is my understanding that they are the ones that deal with the signage and the blinking lights for the school zones. So right now on Cleveland Heights in front of Carlton Palmer, there are no blinking lights. People speed down that road during school zones all the time. We finally got signage, and that took one of the other parents pretty much making Lakeland PD come into a traffic study and sitting there and watching this happen. We finally got signage, and the times are incorrect. We are going to be working on that, but I'm asking for your help. We need some flashers out there. We don't need anything fancy that has speed limits on it, or the speed people are going. We need flashers so people can recognize that they're in a school zone if they didn't see a bunch of kids walking to school already in a big school. And so the speeding on Cleveland Heights is really bad, and we're wanting the city commission, and we would like your help to talk to the city commissioners as well, talk to Mayor Mutz. What do we need to do to get flashers out there? What is the cost? Do they need a cost share? And it's really not just my son's school. There are a lot of schools in this county that do not have flashers with the school zones or anything that really notes that they're in a school zone. And so we are asking that our school board work with the city, municipalities, with the county commission if it's a county road, so that every school has noticeable school zones so that people can slow down. We've had multiple deaths over the last few years of children being killed or being hit by vehicles because they're going too fast, people are not paying attention. And so we are specifically at my son's school looking for some help, but I know that there's other schools that need that help as well. And so I'm not quite sure where to go from here. Commissioner Lalonde had sent it over to Public Works, and so I will be attending the next city commission meeting to bring this to their attention if they did not see it. But as the school board, I'm asking on behalf of our school for your help so that we can get school zone flashers at every school, not just at Carlton Palmer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Yocum. Octavia Hernandez is up, and then we have Andrea Mayas on deck.
So staff have been working on this. Ms. Yocum spoke to me about it. There are light poles actually in front of that school, and we spoke about this campus earlier today because of the congestion and anticipated increased traffic with the YMCA expansion. In speaking with staff, Mr. Davis did indicate that in the past, there have been instances where we purchased the school zone flashers and signage, and then the city or municipality agreed to maintain those. So we've been working through that process. So while Ms. Yocum is obviously welcome to attend a city council meeting, or I would encourage her to give us a little bit more time to see what solutions we may be able to propose, because again, we have done that in the past. And as I explained to Ms. Yocum previously, and it's in fairness, make sure the board is aware of this, in our flawless opening process. So about 3 years ago, we developed a flawless opening document. Every school completes it to ensure that they're prepared to start the next school year. Part of that flawless opening document this year includes a safety audit of their roadways leading to their campus. And whether or not they have crosswalks, whether or not they have flashers, whether or not their signage is clearly visible, clearly posted for school start times and things of that nature. So we'll have a much better understanding so that we can go ahead and develop, like we spoke about earlier, a plan. It can't all be done in 1 year. Go figure, school flashers and speed zone signs are actually on back order most of the time. So the manufacturing process is what it is. So I'll be happy to provide you with an update. I'll be happy to provide Ms. Yocum an update in her role as a parent and PTA member at Carlton Palmer.
All right. Thank you, Superintendent, for the update. And Octavia, you're recognized.
Good evening, school board. My name is Octavio Hernandez. I am a teacher at Haines City High School. Today I come to you as a club sponsor for our club Nueva. It's a charter at Haines City High School. Some of you guys remember it from a couple years ago from Davenport, and now we started a new one. Some of our former students, Andrea Mejas, he's our president, Samantha Perozzo, Leza Baston, Jonathan Filgueiras, and Catherine Davis are going to come and speak today about certain issues that happen at Haines City High School, because that's the concept of this club. Is things that we can't see as parents, as teachers, as community members. Only students can see from their point of view issues that we might take for granted. And we created this club so my students could understand how to actually make a difference and how to actually make a change in their community, not just hit a like post on Facebook or share it with their friends on Instagram, actually make a difference in their community, come in here and speak to you guys, because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones that have the ability to make a difference in our community. And I want to show our students what it actually takes. You know, coming up here, speaking of issues from lighting in our parking lot, like in Davenport, to our longer lunches, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And believe me, our students now know that we're getting 30-minute lunches, and they will tell you how happy they are. At Davenport High School, they implemented that extra 5 minutes, and you know, my son goes there, and he had told me himself, he goes, Dad, those 5 minutes make a big difference. it makes a big difference between you just being able to go to the bathroom instead of having to make a decision between, talking to your friends, restroom, or eating. And those are the kind of changes that we want to make in the community in Polk. Things that we can change, but you might overlook because there's so many things that you have to worry about. But I'm so proud of these kids, coming out here and driving an hour. Thank you, parents, for driving them, and sisters, to coming out here. I appreciate it. It's not an easy drive, as you may know. Going out there to Haines City and Davenport, the traffic is it's ridiculous, as we know. It's the fastest growing county in the United States. So I appreciate you guys welcoming our students here at Haines City, because at the end of the day, it's their community and it's their school and their future is theirs. And I'm so proud of them for them to come out here. But I would hope so that in the future, there's a way for our students to be able to, especially from the northeast side of Polk, to come here and engage and have an actual discussion with you guys, because it's difficult. I understand that you want people to sign up before 5 o'clock, but school ends at 2:30. By the time you get home, it's 3:45, and that's the students. The parents, most parents get home at 5 or 6 o'clock to get over here on time. It's very difficult, and we need to have their voices heard, because they are the ones that are living through the decisions that we are making as administrators, as teachers, as school board members. And I appreciate you guys welcoming them here, because I'm so proud of them. And without further ado, thank you very much.
Thank you, Octavia. Andrea Mejas is up, and then we have Jonathan Gora.
Good evening, school board. My name is Andrea Mejias, and I am a student at Haines City High School, and I am the president of Nueva. Today, I would like to reflect with you on an experience we had recently. A couple of weeks ago, we got the chance to host and talk with exchange students from Germany. They shared their culture and described what their school system was like. Unlike us, they have breaks built into their schedules, which gives the students time to reset before diving into another lesson. They told us how these breaks improve their ability to focus, allow them to socialize, and most importantly, prevents them from burnout. In this exchange of experiences, I realized how beneficial having breaks can be for students. They help us ultimately have a better performance, since it allows our brains to not get overwhelmed. And the constant paste and copious information we receive every day and from every class can get very overwhelming. This problem is not just about getting to bed earlier. It's about how our school schedules are structured and the lack of time given to students to recharge throughout the day. Our classes are about 48 minutes long, and it can get very stressful as we learn a topic during that time frame, but must use our after-school hours to apply the concepts and get the work done. Now imagine a student that just spent 8 hours at school and must get home to process it all and keep working when they get to their houses. We need to learn to have a balance between our school and personal life in order to maintain a healthy mental state. But it's hard. Some students are at the stage of life where they have jobs. Others may be part of clubs or sports, and they require practice and time. While some of the extracurricular activities may be hard to manage, those students have shown to struggle with keeping up with their classes. And those activities do require more time. And unfortunately, us as students don't have the power to make days last longer. With looking at different schedules for our schools, we may be able to find the balance we want. A schedule with about 3 to 4 classes per day may give us the chance to implement at least 2 breaks that will benefit the students the most. This change will also allow students to have a subject for a longer time frame, which will most likely result in a better understanding of the concepts and leave more room for discussions and clarifications during class time. Thank you.
Thank you for your leadership. Jonathan is up, and then we have Caitlin Davis on deck.
Testing. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Filgares-Gora, and I am a student from the Nueva Club at Haines City High School. As you may already be aware of, Haines City High School is one of the largest schools in Polk County with over 3,000 students. Our bathrooms are too ill-equipped to handle everyone, as a bathroom on average only has 3 stalls and 2 sinks, which is nowhere near enough to accommodate for all of us at the same time. And it gets worse. we are only given 7 minutes to use the bathroom in between class changes. That may sound like a lot, but you have to consider the fact that groups of students gather at the bathrooms waiting to use it, as there are only 3 stalls. And that time may seeming like a lot, dissolves, gone in the blink of an eye. And teachers also go through the same thing, as they have to teach the students for 50 minutes. And then they barely get any time to use the restroom, as they have to greet the students coming into the next period. Their only chance is during their planning period or during lunch. Now, how can we combat this? We have to take into account that Haines City High School is a very old school, and simply remodeling the bathrooms to increase its capacity is just simply not enough. I have proposed an ulterior that we gain funding to build portable bathrooms near our more populated areas, such as Building 1, Building 20, and near the cafeteria, so that there's more accessibility and it can reduce the stress for the students. Thank you for your time, and have a marvelous day.
Thank you, Jonathan. Caitlin is up next, and then we have Samantha Perosa. You're recognized.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Caitlin Davis, and today I want to talk about why our school board should consider allocating funding for Haines City High School sport amenities. Sports play a crucial role in teaching essential life skills. Participation in sports cultivates teamwork, discipline, and leadership qualities. Students learn to work together towards a common goal, developing communication skills, and fostering friendships that can last a lifetime. I personally have some of my closest friendships from sports, and I have no regrets about playing, only on the points that I bring up. By investing in our sports facilities, the school board is investing in the personal growth of students and preparing them for the challenges they will face in life. Enhanced sports amenities can boost school spirit and community involvement. It creates an environment in which school pride can flourish. The main issue that I myself, and I'm positive other athletes experience, is the mental fact that comes with knowing your school's amenities, quite frankly, do not look just as good as others. Depending on where you go to play, the funding or the budget for things at a school can affect we the students. A prime example I hear from some of my peers is our baseball field. Though our team may play well, you can guess how much it affects a student and their playing. I asked a few classmates of mine, and the general response about these fields varied from underwhelming, outdated appearance to serious safety issues, which I understand. Some issues brought up the fact that these issues affect their playing as well. Some not running as fast or playing to their full abilities for risk of injuring themselves. And so, putting these perspectives just after their mental health could genuinely affect actual safety and health. Of course, this is just a few out of all our athletes, though I speak for a lot of them when I say better sport amenities will give our players more reason to be proud of playing for their school and overall about playing. One solution we came up with is a fundraiser hosted by Haines City and other schools. Maybe an event at the beginning or end of the year, something that introduces the teams and the sports to the parents, something that can help raise the money for these sports amenities. In conclusion, funding our school's sports amenities is an investment in the health, development, and the spirit of our schools and community. I urge the school board to consider these benefits seriously and support our initiative for enhanced sports amenities. Thank you.
Thank you, Caitlin. And Samantha, you were up, and then we have Larza Bastion.
Good evening. My name is Samantha Peroso. I am an Ivy student at Haines City High School and part of the Nova Club. Today, I will be talking about accessibility of sanitary products in girls' bathrooms. As you know, Polk County is a Title I county, making our students receive free lunches as many of them can't afford them. Now, consider that if a student cannot afford lunch, how can one expect them to have enough money to buy sanitary products? In the U.S., it's estimated that 16.9 million people who menstruate live in poverty, with 2/3 of them struggling to afford menstrual products. If food needs should be accessible to everyone, so should basic hygiene products like sanitary products for women. Schools should be able to facilitate a sanitary environment, and students shouldn't have to worry about having an accident because the teacher will let them go to the bathroom. Not having enough time to go to the bathroom and change their pad during transitioning, or not having any extra pads or tampons. Students should be worrying about their grades, clubs, and personal lives, not a process that their body has to go through every month. Students should at least have the reassurance that schools are able to provide these products for them when they have no access to them. One solution I learned about is installing a cabinet in girls' bathrooms filled with tampons and pads. These products can be donations made by the students, and a way to encourage students to donate is by creating school events and or giving them goodie bags as a form of gratification. A trash can or a place where they can dispose these sanitary products will also be installed, because it will not only help with the accessibility of these products, but it will also help to stop the problem of clogging the toilets in girls' bathrooms, as currently there are no trash cans and girls resort to flushing them down the toilet. Additionally, a place to dispose these items is essential, as it prevents biohazards and health problems, as anything having to do with blood is a biohazard. No girl or female teacher should ever be embarrassed because of their periods at school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you. And we have Liza and then Joel Vogel on deck.
Good evening, members of the Polk County School Board. My name is Leigh Sebastian, and I attend Haines City Senior High. I stand before you to propose something necessary to have the most efficient community possible: transparency and communication. It's time we build a stronger connection between the decisions made in this room and the people that they affect the most, the students and their families. Our school board meetings should not just be places where decisions are made behind closed doors or discussed in ways that feel distant from our daily lives. What I suggest is to make a platform, an accessible and interactive space where the student body and parents can be informed about what's happening, and more importantly, where their inputs can be heard. Education is not one size fits all. Every family, every student faces different challenges. Whether it's decisions about curriculum, school safety, mental health resources, and other opportunities, it is imperative that we include the voices in our community in these conversations. What I imagine is a digital hub or app where students and parents can receive updates on the policies being proposed and passed. A space where they can submit feedback, ask questions, or suggest ideas that come from their lived experiences. This isn't just about convenience. It's about making our school systems more responsive towards the community, therefore making it more effective. At the end of the day, these decisions shape our future. They shape the kind of education we receive, the environments we learn in, and the opportunities we have beyond the classroom. When students and parents are brought into the process, we're not just investing in better policies, we're investing in stronger relationships, greater trust, and a school system that reflects the needs and values of not only our students, but this community. This is about more than academics. It's about livelihoods. It's about preparing students not just for tests, but for life. And to do that, well, we need a system that is ready to listen. So let's build that platform that allows for these opportunities. Let's make Polk County a leader in inclusive, community-driven education. When we work together, we don't just improve our schools, we empower the future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to say thank you collectively to the group of students. Well done. Thank you, thank you. Joel Vogel. You are up, and then Ashley's on deck.
Good evening. My name's Joel Vogel, and I can come to you guys today just as a father, and I'm here to ask for help. My daughter is a 7th grader. She's at Lakeland Highlands Middle School. She told my wife and I some very disturbing things about some things that her teacher had said to her, including the teacher asking if any of the students had crushes on their teacher, and saying things like, "Oh, well, you know, age is just a number." We immediately reported it to the school. Everything was done pretty quickly as far as getting the information in. There was an investigation done. And we did learn today that the investigation has concluded and was not fired or even suspended or anything for his behavior. My daughter also reports that he likes to get close to female students, stand close behind them, and he's done this to her, to rub their shoulders and breathe on their necks. She's 12 years old. I don't have all the information. I don't know how many times it's been reported for this inappropriate behavior, but I have been told this isn't the first time. I know that there is due process here. I know that we have to conduct interviews, gather evidence and everything before making, and we don't want to make rash decisions, make decisions too quickly. And we have to make sure that processes is followed. Except the first job here is really to keep our kids safe. That should really be our first job, especially from people who would prey on them, and especially from people who are in authority over them, like a teacher. We have done what I feel like we can as far as keeping her safe. We have removed her from class. We've reported his behavior. We've applauded her for doing what many haven't, standing up and saying something even when it was very difficult to do so. But at this point, there's nothing more that I know that I can do to really protect those who are the innocent. I know that there are more details out there that I don't have access to, that I know the people in this room, you guys probably have access to. And I know that I'm convinced that anyone who asks and does any investigation on Menti or interviews any of his victims knows that he's not safe and he has no business anywhere near a school. This is not the time to hide behind any kind of due process. Time to take a stand and to do what's right because it's right, and to protect our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. And Ashley is up next.
Good evening. I'd like to read something to you. You're 12 years old and have almost finished your first year at a new school. You love all your teachers except for one. He makes you feel icky, but you can't quite put into words why. You've heard him make sexist and homophobic jokes, but you try to brush them off. You notice how he lingers over the girls' shoulders and makes excuses to touch them and massage their shoulders, the same as he does to you. He doesn't do this with the boys. He poses a question to the class one day. Y'all ever had a crush on a teacher? The class murmurs different no's. He doubles down. Oh, come on. When I was your age, everyone had crushes on their teachers. A boy you don't know yells, they're like 60 years older than us. Your teacher replies, oh, come on, age is just a number, right? You go back to your classwork, head down, and start writing. He comes up behind you. You can feel his hands caress your shoulders, then grab them as he draws his face so near to yours that you can feel his breath on your neck. This may sound like a sick writing exercise, but each and every detail mentioned came from the report that my 12-year-old daughter made to Lakeland Highlands Middle School 2.5 weeks ago. Since then, my daughter has been removed from class per her father's and my request. She fought us on this decision because she has a friend who is timid and shy in that class who, quote, he likes to touch even more than me, and I feel like I have to protect her and comfort her after he's done caressing her. She had an A in his advanced civics class but was moved down to a remedial civics class. Her class schedule has been changed around at the end of the year. She has been outed as the whistleblower at her school. And after all of that, came up behind her after, grabbed her shoulders, pulled her close and said, why did you move outside of my class? My daughter's is the latest in a long line of accusations against, and he is still teaching. Why is my daughter bearing the punishment of his inexcusable and disgusting behavior? And how many more young girls need to report him before you remove the wolf from the flock that you are here to protect? I understand and respect that you have due process to protect your teachers. Teachers are a valuable resource. Has been reported multiple times over multiple years, by multiple young girls and is exhibiting clear signs of physical and psychological grooming behavior. And why are we waiting till it escalates into abuse? Would you consider it abuse if it was your daughter that was massaged?
Thank you, Ms. Vogel. All right, board members, next order of business is adjournment at this point. Any other further business to come before the board? And this meeting of the Polk County School Board meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.